say on the Republican nominee. Lincoln Mitchell is the national political correspondent for the New York Observer, back from Maine. Lincoln, Ted Cruz seems to be gaining ground on Donald Trump. Based on what you're seeing, is it now possible that Trump is no longer the guaranteed nominee?
Trump is no longer the guaranteed nominee. Thus far, he's won 44% of the delegates. That's not enough to win this nomination. He's almost certainly going to have the plurality, but he has to do a lot of work to get the majority. He's got to really up that number to about 53, 54% at least. Now, the 15th of March, if Kasich and Rubio can bring home their states, just that almost makes it, I would say, almost impossible.
But Rubio may not get Florida, which is his home state, so does that mean that Rubio is now a foregone conclusion?
You mean Trump is now a foregone conclusion?
No, I mean Rubio. Rubio may not win Florida.
But I think if Rubio doesn't win Florida, he's got to get out of the race. And if that happens, and if Trump wins Florida, because it's now a two-person race down there, Trump is in a pretty okay position. But if he doesn't win Florida, I think it's going to be very tough. If he does win Florida, you know, Cruz is beating him in a lot of places. Cruz is coming in strong second. There still are some states where it's not winner take all. It's still not guaranteed.
Was that the Mitt Romney effect? Was that the effect of that speech and the combination of Rubio going after him aggressively in the debates?
I think it very well could be. Trump was hit a lot harder than he had been. However, he's still doing fine. He's still come, exception of Puerto Rico, which he didn't contest, and where obviously Donald Trump might have 12 votes or something. He is coming first or second almost everywhere. So he's still doing very well in that measure. But it's tough in a multi-candidate race to break 50%.
One last question before we move on to the Democrats. There are people now talking about combination strategies. There is the talk about Cruz and Kasich. There's the talk about Rubio and Kasich. Do any of these combinations, when you combine their delegates, work?
Well, Cruz and Rubio certainly work combining their delegates. But if you're going to talk about combinations, you have to talk about Trump and Cruz, right? You have to talk about Trump and Rubio. Trump is going to, if there is a broker...
Do you see either Cruz, though, or Rubio joining forces with Donald Trump?
I wouldn't rule it out. I would rule out Rubio. I wouldn't rule out Cruz.
So anything is possible in politics?
Anything is possible. Someone got to marry somebody.
Let's talk about this exchange last night. There was a heated moment as to just what constitutes big money. Take a listen.
Well, you talk about corporate greed. The gun manufacturers sell guns to make as much money as they can make.
Big applause line. Has Hillary Clinton found a counter strategy to Bernie Sanders arguing that she is in the pocket of Wall Street?
Well, on that exchange on guns, Hillary hit it out of the park and Bernie stumbled badly. He made a defense of the gun manufacturers that kind of is an NRA talking point. But moreover, if you apply that philosophy to other branches of corporate America, you are a big apologist for corporate America. So she has been hitting hard on guns since the very beginning, but I think she had a real breakthrough on guns last night, much more so than any point.
You think that was scripted or ad-libbed?
Hillary Clinton is known for being very well prepared. So let's just leave it at that. I think she was expecting this. I think she thought this through. Yes.
There was also this exchange in which Sanders admonished Clinton, and Twitter lit up as a result. Take a listen to this one.
If you are talking about the Wall Street bailout, where some of your friends destroyed this economy,
you know...
Excuse me, I'm talking.
Let him respond.
If you're going to talk, tell the whole story, Senator
Let
Sanders.
me tell my story, you tell yours.
I will.
Reaction in the arena, reaction online as well. What happened, and did that hurt Bernie Sanders?
I'm not sure it hurt Bernie Sanders. I mean, there is some reaction that says he's trying to shut her up. Look, Bernie's a big guy, and when you're a big man on stage with a woman, your body language counts. And this I'm talking, let me finish, you know, doesn't always play well for a big man speaking to somebody who's female and not as big. On the other hand, Bernie Sanders talks with his hands. He's always talked with his hands, and that's kind of the way he is. On the substance of the issue, you know, it's tough. He's campaigning in Michigan. He's campaigning in Flint. The politics of that bailout were complex, but clearly Hillary Clinton in that exchange came off as the person that was more committed to keeping automobile manufacturing jobs in Michigan.
And it was still kinder and gentler than anything on the Republican side.
Well, I have to say, there was no mention of anyone's appendages, no promises, no promises to commit war crimes, and I was a little disappointed.
Lincoln Mitchell from the national correspondent for the New York Observer. Lincoln, thanks very much.
Thank you.